people talk about Bitcoin as a separation of money from state. That's not the biggest idea. The biggest idea of Bitcoin is separation of property from earth. The big idea is there's $950 trillion worth of wealth. There's $350 trillion worth of real estate property. A lot of the excess capital, what we'll call money, but it becomes capital, has flowed into property. We have monetized stocks, but we've monetized buildings, we've monetized commercial and residential real estate, we've monetized collectibles and art. And so the big idea with Bitcoin is, instead of actually buying $1 billion building in the middle of a city, buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, because the maintenance cost is lower. You can move it to any city on earth. The property tax on the building is clear and is going up, whereas the property tax on Bitcoin is zero, and it's probably going down because it's very difficult to tax property in the form of a digital asset, right? It's very easy to tax your building, your warehouse, your house, and you can see that. So if you're an investor, you would say Bitcoin has a massive appeal. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't go from where it is today, from a $500 billion asset, to demonetize all of gold. I've talked about that before. That takes it up by a factor of 20. But really, most rich people in the world, they don't have their money in gold. Gold doesn't generate yield, right? Gold is a dead rock. Most rich people in the world, wealthy people, they own property. They own city blocks in London. They own warehouses and strip malls and hundreds of thousands of acres, and they own skyscrapers. And why do they own it? Because they have to convert their capital into a property asset which the government cannot print more of. And if you took, let's look right now, since MicroStrategy entered the Bitcoin space on August 10th of 2020, here's what's happened to asset classes. Bitcoin is up 118%. I'm reading off my screen right now, but this is pretty close. The S&P index is up 30%. So Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P by a factor of 4. NASDAQ is up 25%. Gold is down 3.5%. Gold is dead money. It has not gotten any boost. Silver is even worse. It's down 16%. And bonds are a disaster. They're down 19%. MicroStrategy stock is up 131%. We are actually outperforming Bitcoin, right? With all the volatility, regardless of, even though we bought Bitcoin at 60,000, 50,000, 40,000, it doesn't matter. What matters is the world's strongest asset class, as a monetary inflation hedge, the apex property of the human race is Bitcoin in the last 2.5 years. It's Bitcoin in the past 5 years, Bitcoin in the past 8 years, Bitcoin in the past 10 years. And theoretically, I won't drag you through it, but we could spend an hour during which I would explain to you, or I would enumerate the 100 reasons Bitcoin is superior to real estate, superior to equity, superior to gold, superior to silver, superior to credit, superior to corporate debt, sovereign debt, and every derivative idea you have. So if you're an investor and you simply want to make money and you want to do it without waging a battle with regulators, then you buy Bitcoin, because at some point governments figure it out, institutional investors figure it out, big corporations figure it out. There's an avalanche of money. The liquidity's dried up, and you can't short Bitcoin anymore.